Now, the next segment of our program for today, let's turn you over to our colleague, Bill Velasco. Bill?
Maraming salamat, Boyet at Santino. And today I would like to edify our fans here at Round by Round on the ways that boxers can legally, by bending the rules, get an unfair advantage. There are many ways you can cheat in boxing. Of course, we all know about doing drugs and using steroids and all of that. Marami pong paraan para manalo sa di patas na pamamaraan. Pero ito ay mga nasa loob ng rules ng boxing. Okay? The first, of course, is the choice of venue. We've all heard of the hometown decision and the hometown crowd, and that is all true. We've experienced that in the Southeast Asian Games, in the Asian Games, where a lot of our athletes get, unfairly beaten because of the home officials or the home crowd. Ito naman po ay dahil ang mas kilala, mas sikat o ang kampiyon na boksingero ang pumipili kung saan gaganapin ang laban. For example, just recently, the new unified champion George Cambosos says that if anybody wants to fight him now, they have to go to Australia because he says he has earned the right to dictate the terms of their fights. So that is one way that you can actually dictate the choice of venue. The other one, of course, Jeff Horn invited Manny Pacquiao, for example, to fight in Australia. And we all know that what happened there. In my eyes, Manny Pacquiao won that fight, but apparently, according to the judges, he did not. And a third case is when it's the promoter who dictates the venue. For example, Top Rank Promotions got Jonas Sultan to fight their boy, Carlos Caraballo, who was undefeated at that time. And they nearly got away with screwing Jonas Sultan. Sultan knocked Caraballo down 4 times and yet only won by 1 point on the scorecards of all the judges. So makikita natin po, medyo tagilid po yung mga hurado dun sa laban na yon. The second way you can legally get an unfair advantage is the choice of gloves. For example, Manny Pacquiao famously prefers Cleto Reyes gloves. And that means he gets to choose what gloves at least he can use in any of his fights. There were even instances when the Nevada State Athletic Commission at a certain weight level would prescribe bigger gloves, but we all know that this would blunt the advantage of Pacquiao. So he would still find a way to get smaller gloves approved for his fights. And some people are saying that because the material of Cleto Reyes gloves breaks down over the course of a fight, meaning there's less and less padding or cushioning as the fight wears on. So even if Manny is more tired, his opponent is feeling the blows more. Yun po ang isang dahilan kung bakit daw Cleto Reyes ang gusto ni Manny Pacquiao. The third way, tatlong paraan para madiktahan ng isang boksingero ang laban at makakuha ng lamang ay yung laki ng ring, the size, the dimensions of the ring. Why? Kasi po kung ang kalaban nyo ay magaling mag-jab at iikutan ka ng iikutan, liliitan mo ngayon yung ring para wala siyang matatakbuhan. The smallest possible ring size you could have is 14 feet by 14 feet. So if your opponent likes to hit and run, stick and move, he won't have much room to do so. You can cut off the ring easily and eventually wear him down. Now, if your boxer is the one you want to favor and he does this, you make the ring bigger. You can go up to like more than 20 feet by 20 feet or 24 feet by 24 feet in the size of the ring. And that gives your fighter another unfair advantage. Okay, now still sticking to the size of the ring and its other features, another classic way of manipulating a fight is adjusting the firmness of the ring ropes and the ring mat itself. For example, Muhammad Ali, remember his famous rope-a-dope style, where he would lean back, way back into the ropes, and the other fighter would wear himself out trying to hit Ali. That would only work because his trainer, Angelo Dundee, was able to loosen the ropes and they would allow Ali to bend all the way back, giving him more distance and allowing him to get hit less. Okay? And of course, we all saw this when he fought George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle in Zaire in Africa. And that's why by the 8th round, Foreman was totally spent and Ali just put him away. All right. With regards to the firmness of the floor or the mat of the ring, if your fighter likes to use a lot of the ring and moves around a lot, you make it more firm or make it harder. It's easier for him to skip around and run around his opponent. If you want the other guy to not be able to do that, then you make the ring softer, wears out the legs faster. And that is another way that you can get a clear advantage. Lastly, of course, we all know that some of our favorite boxers have done this, weight restrictions. If you're the more popular boxer or you're the champion, you can dictate at what weight you will fight. And you can even dictate terms or penalties in case the other boxer does not make the weight. One clear example was when Floyd Mayweather Jr. fought Juan Manuel Marquez. Mayweather intentionally went over the weight limit, paid the fine, and was so big against Juan Manuel Marquez that it was a clear advantage for him. And he easily beat Dinamita in that fight because he was just naturally bigger. Now, also, when we were talking about Antonio Margarito, he was not allowed to fight in Nevada after what he tried to do to Shane Mosley. So Manny Pacquiao was able to challenge him later on in Texas, and they fought in Dallas. And Manny, being the more popular fighter, the bigger draw, and the one dictating the terms of the contract, called for a catchweight fight, meaning Margarito would have to go down in weight and sort of meet him halfway. So Manny Pacquiao topped out at 144 pounds. Margarito, who was already barely able to maintain 154 pounds, which is why by the end of the fight, he was really so totally gassed that Manny Pacquiao was even looking at the referee to stop the fight early because he had nothing left. Now imagine at 154, he was already dry and he was already small and he had so little body fat. To go down even further would deplete him and maybe bring him down to only 70% of his total capacity. Pacquiao also did this to Oscar De La Hoya, which he considers one of his favorite fights of all time. Now, Oscar had not fought at that weight in 6 years. Kaya po nung pinababa siya ng timbang ni Manny Pacquiao, talagang nahirapan po siya. At sa bilis ni Manny Pacquiao, wala na pong nagawa si Oscar De La Hoya. And he retired early in the fight to avoid getting knocked out. Yan po ang mga legal na pamamaraan para makalamang ang isang boksingero sa isang laban.